Hey there, everybody, and welcome back. I never got to finish this from week 13, even though it's already week 1. I'm just gonna go ahead and still do this. So, we're gonna go over one new track that we did get for this season, and that is the Selfie-powered Motorsport Park, also known as The Bend. And this is in, southern Australia, right outside, Delay, which is one of the major cities in Australia. And last year, or 2 years ago, I don't know exactly when, but iRacing went down to Australia to scan 2 tracks in Adelaide area. And one of them was the street cricket and the city of Adelaide itself, which used to help host the Formula 1 races back in the 80s and the 90s, and they host a major season for the final race of the season for the Supercars series. So that city's already pretty important. And then 2018, they built this track out toward the outback in Australia, to get a major track outside of the city of Delay. So, yeah, this is about 50 miles away from the city, out in the middle of nowhere. So, as you can tell, there's not a lot to see out there in this part of Australia. It's just tree and power lines and nothing else. But yeah, in 2018, they built up this track and opened it up. And it's the second largest track that is permit. Behind Nurburgring. So this track is 4.83 miles long. I don't know what that is in Colombia, but for us American, it's 4.83 miles long and it has 35 corners. For the cheat sheet layout, the bit layout. Now, this track so far had played a host to a couple racing series. They had played a host to the Asian Moss. I'm sorry, I'm butchering the pronouncements here, but they had played a host to a couple of cheat sheet racing series. They had played a host to a couple Supercars races so far, and a couple of Formula 4 races. There are 7 different layouts. And actually, the layout that the Supercars are running on is called the International Layout, which basically, skip turn 9 to turn 29 part of this track. So it's skipping a lot of corners and keep it short, and we'll run that at the end after we run a couple laps with the bit layout with the LMP2 core. So yeah, like I said, there's really not a lot to see here scene-wise. It's pretty straightforward. It's a bit racetrack and doesn't really have a lot of grandstands to it. It's just a bit of freaking racetrack with a really nice paddock. That's pretty modern. But yeah, there's not a lot else to it other than that. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and take a couple of laps with the LMP2 core. And thankfully, the one good thing about this speeding week 1 is my overlays, race laps. I already put up the track layout for this track. So that's helpful. Alright, I really haven't got around to running this, so this is my first time running around this place. So we'll see how this is gonna go. But it's definitely a little bit scary looking to remember for sure. We probably gonna go a little bit slow for sure. But yeah, this track, it's gonna have all your typical artwork, tools, and updates. So we're gonna have the 3D curbs, the 3D grass, the 3D cast fence, and yeah, all the shiny new candy for the artwork that you're gonna get from iRacing. I'm trying to remember these corners. And of course, we're you know, the tires, they're very cold. So it's gonna lock up a little bit. Still trying to remember these corners here. Yeah, sure, I kept going. I was a little bit slow, and then we're coming up to where the track, the layout, split up between the international layout and the bit layout that, oh my god, whoa. And we're gonna go for a spin. But thankfully, there's all this grass. So it should be very difficult to get damaged on the wall. Pretty much the only way you're gonna get damaged is if you're gonna hit other cars. So that was Christ something. It's a lot of this trying to remember these corners here. Yeah. This is tricky. Really, really tricky to attack the S's in the back part of a track. And then you have to watch out for, yeah. Watch out for that corner, and then you're coming up to this little hairpin here. Oh my god, we completely missed the corner. I was looking at the track layout, and I just missed it. Wasn't paying attention. There we go. Yeah, you can tell this is my first lap around here. Really struggling to remember things. And looking at the track layout, this is kind of like the spoon, but with a little bit elevation to it and in other directions. Alright, not quite, not the best comparison here, but oh my gosh. This is a spicy part of a track. Gee. And then you're going, oh man. I'm missing the corners. Yeah, this is gonna take a lot. This is gonna take a little bit to learn for sure. Yeah, this is the bit layout. And this is gonna be a rare place where people are actually using shorter layouts to get around here. Oh, gee. I'm just trying to remember where I am. There you go. That's one lap. That's one awkward lap around this place. I try to do this full speed now. Got a pretty bad wheel spin there. Here, I'm pretty sure it's flat out. And then we got this. Oh. I was way late. Got this hairpin coming up here. I was way late. And then got another tight corner here. It's trying to take off from me. Yeah, this is a pretty bland track. Not sure if this is gonna be too popular, but hey, we got to keep up with the 100% track ownership. I'm here, so oh my gosh. Shit, got lost again. Yeah, and then we got this hairpin coming up here that we're gonna, you know, make sure we're gonna get it this time. Gosh, it's trying to spin on me again. It's definitely not gonna be the best review of this track ever, but it's gonna get the job done. Oh my gosh. And we're gonna miss the corner by a little bit. Here, it probably could be attacking a little bit stronger, but we got it done, I guess. There we go. From what I can tell, GG4 and LMP3 are racing here this week. So we might get to do that too, once we're done with this. This review. Here. So that lap took almost 3 minutes to do. It is what it is. Alright, we're just gonna call it done for now. Here what it looks like from, I guess this is what it's gonna look like from the TV camera here. Yeah, you can see me just struggling with this place a little bit. Yeah, sorry about the camera. The graph is flickering a little bit. The frames flickering a little bit, but that's because of all the glass that I got turned on. But it should be fine otherwise. And then here I am just completely missing that corner. So like I said, this is the bit layout, so we'll humor me on this one and shit. But yeah, shit went by a major splitting point between a couple major layouts. And then you can tell that there's a couple of club level courses with a couple smaller paddocks located in a couple other spots. But yeah, it's definitely got a little bit of banking and hills to it with this track, especially the bit layout and tackling the S's in the back. For sure, it does feel like this is a club racing track for rich people to drive their fancy cars rather than a major international racetrack. But that's what we have. So this is becoming one of Australia's next major racetrack to do international races. Especially, yeah, this is what I was talking about. There's another smaller paddock that was shit went by for other layouts for this place. So like I said, this track was built in 2018 and supposed to become one of Australia's major racetracks for international racing. So but yeah, it's supposed to be good for Delay. The city at Delay area. You can see I'm on the struggle bus here, but it should be pretty good for safer racing with 35 corners per lap. You can keep it on the track, of course. But yeah, Supercars are gonna come here a couple. They already been here a couple times. And now they're using the shorter international layout for the Ben 500, which is like supposed to be this next major Supercars races for the calendar. Alright, so we got this. And of course, my keyboard's not working. So we're stuck with this. Alright. Give me a second. It's because of this. I don't know why. Why this is being stupid with the... Alright. Let's try again. Yeah, that'll do it. We got it work this time. So this is what I was looking for. My ASDW keys to move around like this. So like I said, we got this really nice paddock here with the club level suites for, I guess, for team owners and their people. And we got the BIA center up here somewhere. I am assuming the BIA center's up here somewhere. But actually, it looked like more tables. So this is probably shit like a restaurant. A restaurant with a bar. So it's quite fancy setup for sure. And I don't know what other stuff is supposed to be, but... And then we even got a roof. We even got a roof. So I guess this is for the spotters or something. And then we got this thing here for the TV people, I guess. And we got what looked like a PA stuff. I don't know anything about PA. But and then we got one of the grandstands here. Really, it doesn't seat a lot of people. I'm assuming this is one of those tracks where you have to walk around. You bring your own chair and walk around. Like Grand Ambition type of track. And we got these grandstands here again going to the first corner. And then we got what appear to be some kind of weather. We got Inami or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it, which is funny because I'm a weather guy. But this thing's supposed to measure wind and wind direction here. And then we got the cameras. So, and not like the TV camera. We got, I will tell you, this is a long freaking straight. This is a long freaking straight. And then we got a TV here that's not really running much. And then we got all these power lines. And what I was pointing out earlier is we got another paddock here, a smaller paddock. And it's kind of lame that you can't really get into it. Maybe you can, you like turn around. Like, you go around it, you can probably get into it. Probably would made for a fun, better shoot for sure. And then we got all this other stuff here. So yeah, and you go to the sky. We will see the whole thing here. And you can tell that you're kind of like, getting into a remote part of Australia at this point, at this distance from a city. And then you can tell there's like multiple different layouts that can be run at this place. We got this little, we got this corner, these corners here. And then you go like a little bit farther up, you can see the connection where the main layout kind of split off to form a international layout for the Supercars, which is like this thing here, this set of corners I believe is what the Supercars are going to be using for their bid 500 miles race. I don't know, it's like 500 kilometers or miles. But either way, there's not many races. There are like 500 for the Supercars, so it's supposed to be one of their major races, distance-wise. And then we got the go-kart track here. At least I believe this is the go-kart track. Really nice details here for sure. And then, yeah, we got another grandstand here. Yeah, it's kind of like shattered over the areas. But yeah, we got the bin here. That's really all there is to it for this place. So we are gonna leave this for a second so I can load up the other layout that the Supercars could be using, and we'll be driving the Supercars. So give me a second to set it all back up. Bring me the Supercars. Where are you? And then I'm gonna make it a little bit late afternoon, I guess. And we're gonna make it like, yeah, give me a second, sorry. Yeah, late afternoon, and then we'll make it partly cloudy. And then we'll make it international layout. So there you go. Now we're gonna load it back up. Come on, just... Alright, it's loading up now, so I had to show off the layouts, but it's loading right back up for us to enjoy in a second. But yeah, like I said, it's already, already being put to use by iRacing for the popular GG4 series on the international layout. It's not the bit layout, so yeah. Alright, it's loading up. It's 75% loaded up, so it's not going to take too much longer, and hopefully we'll get back to enjoying this in a second. Up to 90% now, so it should be like a minute. Gotta love it when it takes time to load up. So I feel like it's always the last 10% that takes the longest to load up. Alright, and we are back. Well, yeah, we are back. And then we'll be running the Supercars. What even is the right setup for this? Let's see. I'm thinking. I'm just gonna use the baseline. It doesn't matter. So yeah, look at the track map. That's the international layout for this core, the Supercars. And this is a little bit zoom out, so let me fix this. That should be better. Right on, I don't know what to expect out of this, but this is what they're gonna run later in the year. I don't know when, but later in the year. This is what they're gonna run. They're gonna run this core for 500 for a 500 race at this place on this layout. I know the Supercars could be very happy and excited about this update, for sure. And then this should be flat out here. No, I was not brave enough. Probably for the best. Oh. Well, that was clumsy of me. Yeah, I ain't run this car in a few weeks. I probably should get back to running this car again for sure. And then here is the major split off spot between the bit layout and the Supercars layout. Oh, that was these corners are a little bit tighter than I was expecting. Yeah, passing's not gonna be easy here for sure. This is not an easy passing track or layout. And then we got this corner coming up here. There we go. There we go. The bend. Alright, let's see how good we can do this lap. And we completely missed the corner. Wow. That was bad. Alright, we'll just try again. One more lap after this. Yeah, I missed the corner pretty bad there. Alright, let's try again. That was pretty bad. But yeah, it's been like a couple years and the Supercars got to run at this place, so I'm sure they're excited to get back to here. Like to a proper racetrack instead of a street course. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is a little bit of a struggle, but I'm just not used to this car, so that's probably part of it. Alright, one more lap, and I'm gonna call it done for this review. That was not good, but wherever. It's wherever at this point. Freaking missed the corner again. Gee. very unforgiving track. You missed it for sure. Very traditional track with the lack of runoff, which is honestly what we need more of. We don't want these boring, ugly, bland track lacking the character for off tracks. You want to punish the drivers for missing the corners and take away the runoff. It's one good way to do that. I'm actually gonna do it one more lap because I screwed up this lap. So I screwed up this lap, so we're gonna give it one more lap. Jesus. Sick. And there we go. There we go. This is much better. This is much better. I'm just being careful this lap. Really stoking the track. Let it come to me. This is kind of hard to see, but we should be okay. I'm just dancing with my feet a lot here. And there you have it. That was one complete lap of an international layout. And we're gonna call it done here for sure. Yeah, all this kind of fuzzy, so we're gonna wrap it up here for sure. Oh, she wasn't expecting that. So there you have it. That was the review of the Bend, the new track on iRacing that we got from Australia, and one of the two tracks that we're gonna get from this area in Austria. The other one being in the city of Adelaide, the street circus Adelaide that we're gonna get eventually. Probably not until next year, if I had to guess. I'm guessing Miami and Mexico City are gonna come first, if I had to guess. But after that, we should be getting that track by late 2025 or early 2026. Because I think there's a pretty big push for iRacing to work with Australia and the Supercars and the tracks in Australia. So that's kind of nice to see. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this review. Probably not the best review out there, but it's the most honest, most raw review you can get. So yeah, I'll catch you later, and make sure, don't forget to subscribe.